Uh, there's too much bullying going on. I was just on the phone the other day with a mother that was confiding in me because her daughter was attending a local school, and her daughter's getting harassed really bad. Her daughter is on the brink of suicide. And this mother confided in me and asking me what she should do and how she should handle it because I have a daughter about her age. The difference between my daughter and her daughter goes to public school and my daughter is homeschooled. So I have protected my daughter from being bullied, but there's too much of that going on in these schools. These kids are being harassed for not having the latest labels of clothes. If they're not wearing Aeropostale or Hollister or Buckle or American Eagle or Gap, they're being harassed. And ironically, a lot of these schools are in uniforms. So the kids are even getting harassed if they don't have the latest shoes on, the most popular shoes. This particular little girl was harassed because her hair was too short. I mean, that's ridiculous. So her mama went and got her extensions in her hair so she would be accepted, and then she got harassed because she had fake hair. And the kids that are doing all the harassing, they come from really good families and stuff, and I'm not sure if the parents are even aware that their kids are actually being bullies. And most of the time, bullies others because their self-esteem is low or they have issues with themselves and they don't want anybody else attacking them, so they attack others. And that's where bullying comes in. You want to lash out at somebody else that is weaker than you are, or that you can get by with hurting that person, inflicting that pain on that person, and spreading vicious gossip about that person, making that person look bad in the eyes of others, But these are kids. These are kids that are being harassed by each other. There's a lot of bullying going on in local schools, and the teachers are not aware of it, or the parents are not aware. There's so much social media. These kids are getting harassed on Facebook. These kids are getting harassed on Instagram, on Twitter, on a social media site called Ask. You can get on there and ask anonymous questions to kids. And these kids will answer your questions. They don't even know who they're answering questions to. You can ask, questions anonymously, like where do you live, or what town you live in, or what school you go to. And the kids are just answering these questions. They don't know if it's a sexual predator. This could be a 55, 60-year-old man that is a sexual child predator, and he's asking these questions, and these kids are answering these questions. That my daughter came to me and told me about that site because she asked could she join it because one of her friends joined it. So I kind of looked into it, before I let her join, or before I agreed or didn't agree to let her join or whatever. But I was like, no way, I'm not letting nobody ask you any questions and that you don't have a clue who they are. I mean, that these are just ways of sexual predators to get a hold of kids, and but the bullying has to stop. These parents need to check your children's media. You need to check your child's phone. You need to get on there, and you should have every password, access to everything your child does. Because these kids, the stuff that I've seen, the parents obviously are not intact with their children. They're not, because I know some of these parents personally, and I don't think that they would allow their child to act like that, or say those things, or do that, or harass that child, you know. So, I think that the parents get too busy in their lives and they don't have time to keep an eye on their kid. They think that if their child's at home or their child's safe, their child's not doing anything wrong. But in reality, that child is causing pain. My friend's daughter wanted to commit suicide. She's getting harassed so bad. She wanted to die and end her life. She's only 14 years old. I mean, I would hate to know that my child was responsible for another child's life. You know, even though my child didn't physically do that to that child, or, but she mentally, you know, they can mentally mess each other up. You know, if you know your child is a bully, you need to put a stop to that. You know, that is very, very sad that your child is inflicting pain on another human being. You know, there's something going on with your child to harass another child. You know, for your child to want to beat somebody else up, or your child to be jealous of another child because, you know, there's something wrong there. You know, I mean, labels in clothes and labels on shoes and labels on purses and having your nails done and having your hair done at at 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old shouldn't make you who you are. It should be the heart of a person. Teach your child to look at the heart of a person, not the way that they dress. These kids cannot help where they live at. You know, they cannot help if they lived in a rundown house or whatever. You know, that's where their parents have them. You know, I was like that. I grew up always living in, you know, rundown houses and stuff. I would actually get the bus to drop me off a couple houses away so the kids didn't see where I lived at. You know, and it was just like awful to grow up that way. Awful because I was made fun of and stuff, you know, and none of that was my fault. It wasn't my fault how I grew up or what kind of house I lived in. You know, it was just like I had no choice. You know, that was the lifestyle that I was given. So these kids that make fun of other kids because of the vehicle their parents drive or the house their parents have them living in, you know, these kids are getting bullied because of that. You know, you need to put a stop to your child if you know that they are doing any kind of bullying. Bullying is getting so bad in these schools. It's not even funny. I mean, these kids are committing suicide and stuff because of this. You know, sit down with your child and have a talk with them. Ask them to see all their social media sites. You know, look deep into it. Look at their messages. Look at their text messages. You can actually call your telephone company and get a record of the text messages. You know, do whatever you can to keep an eye on your children. Don't go by what they tell you. You know, you go behind their back and check on them. They are your responsibility. You know, I want to know what's going on in my daughter and my son's life. You know if they're harassing anybody or anything. You know, I mean, because if they are contributing to anybody else's pain, I want to know about it. You know, and I just would love to see the bullying stop. You know, it's even going on in adults. I see this on Facebook. I mean, back and forth, and the bullying is just out of control. You know, what is the sense of that? What is the sense of inflicting pain on somebody else? Does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel valuable and worthy? You know, does it make you feel, you know, it might make you feel really good at the time, but I know that you feel really bad after you hurt somebody else. I mean, if you don't, then you don't have a heart. Because if you inflicted pain on somebody else and you have no feelings afterwards, you know, you're an emotionless wreck. You know, you need to get yourself checked. You know, maybe go get some therapy or some counseling or something. because I can't see ever hurting somebody else emotionally or physically and not feeling bad about that. You know, I just can't see that. You know, I my heart's breaking right now even considering ever hurting anybody else again. You know, I used to inflict pain on people, but I did it in secret. You know, nobody ever knew. You know, I never really got caught at anything. You know, I was really good, but nobody was behind me checking me. You know, if they would have looked into my computer and my laptop and all that years and years ago, they would have seen how vicious that I could be. You know, I'm so glad I'm not that person anymore. I'm so glad that I changed my ways because I did not like her. Oh man, she was a vicious, ugly person, you know, back in the day. You know, I'm so glad I killed that person and I'm a new person now. And I've been a new person for like 9 years, you know, and it really makes a difference in my life, you know, to love people, cover people in love, you know, and I just want you to recognize a bully, you know, and put a stop to it. Try to encourage that person. You know, a bully is a bully because they have, you know, low self esteem or something's going on in their life. You know, they have to lash out at others. So if you see somebody that's hurting somebody else, just try to lift them up. You know, tell them how valuable they are and everything, and maybe they'll stop trying to hurt other people. But I just want to stop the bullying, so if you can help me out, I'd appreciate it. I love y'all. Bye.